Patch 1.6 for Farm Sim 25 is out now, and with it comes 5 new pieces of equipment. The John Deere 6R Series 2030-2050, the John Deere 683R front loader, the Claas Arion 550-530, Claas FL 140 front loader, and the Albutt Bale Fork F155A. Interestingly, the Bale Grab is also available for telehandlers and wheel loaders, so you'll be able to use this with any of those pieces of equipment. Unfortunately, it is not available for skid steers. Just like I do in normal mod videos, I'm going to go over all of these pieces of equipment, the customization, features, interior, exterior, all that good stuff. That way, you can see what has been added. Oh, and these are not mods, by the way. I don't know if I've made this clear, but they are part of the base game now. This is the first addition to the base game the Giants have done. So let's jump right in. The first tractor brings us to medium tractors. We're going to go down and all the way over to the right, and we see our John Deere 6R Series. This 230-250 model is a different model than the 145-185. That is a smaller body. This one is a little bit bigger. So let's check it out. We have 2 options for engines. We have 281 horsepower or 301 horsepower. These are pretty high when it comes to 6R ranges. The John Deere website is a little bit unclear about the power rating versus what it actually has and what it gets the boost for. Nonetheless, in the game, this is what you get: 281 or 201 or 301. Sorry, it's a lot of horsepower. As far as specs for the whole thing, we have a CVT transmission. You've also got 470 liters of fuel, 31 mile an hour max speed, and weighs 9.5 tons. As for wheels, you do have a Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, BKT, Vredestein, and Nokian tires. Some of these do have some pretty cool setups. I'm going to change up the design to the US real quick. We have a standard wheel weight medium tire, medium with weights, wides with weights. Then you have a narrow tire, narrow rear twin, narrow twins all the way around. Then you have a rear twin and regular twins. I am loving the narrow twin wheels. We do have those with a few. I just wanted to make sure that you saw those. And yes, we do have them with the Michelin as well. Moving along, let's take a look at the design. So we do have the EU and the US setup. That's going to be changing a few of our lights, as well as all the warning signs in the back. It also changes that 3-point hitch, which I know a lot of people will be happy to see. As for our panoramic window on the top, we had that. We still hang on to the Starfire, but it does drop it down just a wee bit. We'll allow a lot more light to come in though. Attachments. You have a 3-point. You've also got none, which is kind of nice to see on a 6R. And then you can add some weight. So you've got the 60 kg front weight holder, and then you go for a 300, 540, a 780, and then a 1020 kg front weight. So big weight on the front, but it is nice to see it permanently attached like that. You also have your front loader attacher with a yes or no, which is going to be a very specific one, so you don't get the Hauer or the Quickie on here. And then, of course, we have our license plate. Now, if we back out and we go to combinations, it gives us our next mod, or say the next mod. The next thing is part of the base game. The John Deere 683R front loader. This says it requires 90 horsepower and weighs 3/4 of a ton. And here's what it is going to look like on our John Deere. Hooks up perfectly, of course. They are meant for each other, at least in the game. I'm also going for the front weight on here so you can see how much room you've got with that front loader on there. For the second tractor, the Claas, we're going to have to go to small tractors. We'll go down, and right here it is, the Arion 550-530. On here, we have a 145 horsepower engine, but we could bump that up to 165 if we want. We also have a variable transmission, 245 liters of fuel, 31 mile an hour, and it weighs 6.6 tons. As for your customization options, again, we have those 2 engines. We have wheel brands from Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Vredestein, Nokian, Midas, BKT, which for some reason those are last, and then back in. We do have a twin wheel setup, which is pretty cool, even rear twins and narrow twins all the way around. Stuff I was not expecting to see on this little tractor, but hey, we got it. Also, the wides look pretty cool on here. You also have a front loader attacher, which is your Claas, and then your license plate. Now, if we jump into combinations, we see the 4th piece of equipment that was added, the Claas FL 140. It almost weighs as much as the John Deere front loader at 716 kgs, but it does require 145 horsepower, so a lot more than that John Deere for some reason. Not quite sure why. Let's back out and take a look at the Claas right here. So, if you're curious, this is what you're going to be rocking with. Kind of nice to see. You do have that I don't know what to call it, the gray going up into the green. I don't know, it would be kind of cool to see those as green, but I know that's not the way that it works. And of course, lastly, we have the Albutt Bell Grab. This one is very cool. I've got the front loader version shown out here, but we will take a look at the others too. Equipment on here weighs 450 kg, so it is very lightweight to say the least. And then you could put kind of a glide on the left or the right. So you've got that. This kind of makes things nice and easy when you've got square bales. I'll pick up 2 or 3 square bales from the top and be able to kind of scoot them up. So that's what you'll be able to use those for. Of course, as we said, we do have this available in Telehandlers tool, so Telehandlers 2. So same thing here. It's exactly the same, just the connection is changed. I'm a little bit interested that we don't have one where you could just change it up, but because it's a base game piece of equipment, nothing else is done like that, and it would be a little bit weird. But if it was a mod, it would be done like that. Now that you've seen the customization options, let's take a look at the machines up close and personal. I've added the Albutt to the front of the John Deere, however, it works perfectly fine on the Claas as well. Everything is looking good. All the decals look really nice. Looking around towards in here, even the little reflectors there on the side look pretty good. And check out all that detail. Man, I'm digging it. It is nice to see. You will notice that some of the models that we get a little bit later on in the game's lifespan, even though this is the first one right here, you will notice that these seem to be a little bit more higher detailed than some of the other stuff that we get in the base game. So this is very nice to see. I think I've got a mod, the mod installed where I can kind of scoot forward a little bit. You can kind of see everything all the way around. Let's see, I spin my head this way too. Very cool, very cool. The speaker pod in the top looks a little bit funny, but other than that, you're good. And then there's your skylight for the front. You've also got your radio up there. That's cool. And all the stuff in between. Everything else is working great. Let's move forward and then slam on the brakes. There that is. Nice. Very cool. We'll do the same thing for the Claas right here. Just checking it out, seeing all the details, seeing everything that's been added. I do love this little bit right here at the very side, the Fit Lock 2. I don't even know what that is, but it looks cool, doesn't it? You've got the suspension under there that the cabin is riding on, so that's nice. And you can really tell it when driving this thing around too. And then you've got what I imagine are buttons all around towards the back. Does the John Deere have buttons? The John Deere does have buttons. When did they start adding buttons back there? That's brand new to me. And then, of course, you've got your hydraulic connections and things like that all the way around. This one has the 3-point at the front, so you can see how much space you've got with that. We jump in, go into first person, we'll turn it on, and it is looking very good as well. Maybe a little bit more modern-esque than the John Deere, but I think that's pretty normal, all things considered. Anyway, Claas does seem like a very modern company with everything. But alas, none of our machines or the screens are going to be doing a whole lot more than just showing off a few things. Of course, we have our the switcher on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, which goes forwards and backwards. We've got our gas down there and the brakes. Everything seems to be working perfect. There you go. So I mentioned that the Claas, like you could tell the suspension that it's riding on. Take a look at this little bump right here. I don't know what it is, but it just feels heavy. Something about this one just feels heavier than anything else. We go inside. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's a big tractor with springs that aren't very springy. Who knows? As for the John Deere, let's jump in here. The John Deeres are usually pretty on the money, although with this front loader on the front, hey! Although with the front loader on it, it does seem to move a little bit more. There's quite a bit of body roll lifting up, almost like a front wheel drive race car, if you know how those go. Let's remove that and see if that changes anything. Yes, so that does look like it. Even though we are able to get this to kind of move a little bit, it seems to be a-okay. So this just a little bit extra weight on the front was what was causing it. So speaking of this extra weight, let's check out and see how this thing works. So now we get to take a look at the Albutt. Oh, man. Also, I've added a weight on the back because this thing was getting a little bit much. All you got to do is fold and unfold, and the little grabbers will drop down. I've set up 3 square bales here, although I'm not sure if it's going to get all 3 of them or not. We might get lucky. Get all the way down. We've got our scooter on the left-hand side there, so if we wanted to scoot them together, we could do that. And then now, fold it and lift. Hey, so we can get 3, but just barely. So this will allow you guys to kind of lift stuff up, sit it on, well, wherever you need to. Oh boy, yep, that's gonna happen. It'll work just fine. I definitely recommend putting a rear weight on there. 2,500 kgs may not even be enough. Who knows? But hey, it works perfectly fine, and we bring them up and let them go. Yay! Works the way it's supposed to. Love it. So then there you go. Those are your new pieces of equipment that have been added with patch 1.6 for Farm Sim 25. Hope you enjoyed this one. Drop a like if you did. Get subscribed if you're new and join the DjGoHam fam. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I'll catch you in the next one.